1. Sacramento Theatre, August 1869. Sebastian Russell tugged at his unfamiliar starched collar and cast a quick sidelong glance at the woman seated next to him in the velvet-curtained balcony box. Huldah Wilmington's big-boned frame rose out of a tidal wave of frothy skirt, her blunt, short-necked face emerging from a frilly neckline in dazzling turquoise, a house sparrow in parrot's plumage. Despite his discomfort, Seb's blood pressure spiked with secret amusement as he turned away from Huldah to peer down at her daughter Isabella, who was commanding centre stage in a Parisian melodrama that had taken London and New York by storm and was now enjoying a star turn in California's social and business hub. The contrast in demeanour between the widowed older mother and her charismatic daughter couldn't be more pronounced, and Huldah seesawed between contradictory responses, alternately glowing with pride at Isabella's obvious talent and frowning at the propriety of the girl's determined dream to make her name on the stage. The Corsican Brothers, adapted from Alexandre Dumas' tale, was Isabella's first big break, and the family had pressured Sebastian into evening dress to accompany Huldah and their friends, Alicia and Basil Stockton, to see it. Before the curtain rose on the first act, Huldah had eagerly told Seb that Queen Victoria saw it 4 times when it was on at London's Princess Theatre, as if the monarch's approval of the show when it was first staged a decade ago made it perfectly respectable for her precious Isabella now. He sighed, and the enveloping dark warmth of the full house pressed down on him. If only he could quietly and unobtrusively melt into the darkness with its lingering chocolate aroma from half-time treats. He'd like to disappear off the face of the earth, never again to start awake with the midnight terrors, or to drag his leaden feet from bed to floor every morning. He glanced at Huldah once more, anxious that she might read his thoughts, but he needn't have worried. She fixed her muddy eyes on Isabella's graceful form, her protruding lower lip dropped open in rapt attention. Like most of the audience, the action on stage held her in thrall. The story unfolding was of twin brothers with a psychic link and a carbine-touting mother, a tale of death, murderous duels and chivalrous revenge, and Sebastian found it near impossible to sit still and watch it. 4 years fighting a brutal civil war convinced him nothing honourable came from the barrel of a gun, and the one brother's claim that if his twin was dead he'd know it because his ghost would come to visit made him itch as though he'd fallen into a bed of poison ivy. He thought of Robert, the one and only friend he'd made when he first arrived in Boston from Hong Kong as a 12-year-old orphan. If anyone would communicate with him from beyond the dead, it would have been Robert, and no, he hadn't heard a peep from him. It was all nonsense. For the 1000th time he asked himself, as he had every day since General Robert E. Lee surrendered at Appomattox, how can a man keep going when all hope that life, or God, is good, has gone? He maintained a brave face for his brothers, for the rest of the world. He rebuffed any attempt they made to talk about the war because if you hadn't been there, you couldn't understand, and he acted as if everything was going along just fine. Peace had come, and he'd survived with arms and legs intact. For that miracle he was eternally grateful. But he'd imagined when the barbarity of war was over that his life would return to some kind of normal, and it was taking him a long time to understand there was no going back. The innocent 22-year-old who'd joined up with best buddy and fellow engineer Robert Kingsley, lost 7 years ago in cannon smoke, would never return.